from Texas Motor Speedway. Today at 2 o'clock, NASCAR America Xfinity Series practice, 2:30, 5 o'clock, Xfinity Series final practice. Sprint Cup Series qualifying at 6:30, all wrapping up with auto auctions from Dallas at 8 p.m. Eastern on NBCSN. The AAA Texas 500. Very grueling race. The speeds upwards of 200 miles an hour, 500 miles. Let's go back into the garage and Marty.
Rick just checked in with the 22 team of Joey Logano, and they kind of planned to stay in race trim for this long into practice. In fact, they were going to look at an hour or so into this practice, and here they have 30 minutes left, switching over to qualifying trim now. So that answers that question. Still working on Brad Keselowski and what's going on with that race team. A little slower than they would like. Paul Wolf and the team debriefing right now. But the 22 now switching over to qualifying trim, and that's the beauty of an hour and a half practice, right, Steve? You can kind of take the first hour, work on race trim, and the last half hour just focus on qualifying.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little late practice and for my comfort to be swapping over. Like you mentioned, Jeff, they obviously have a lot of confidence that they know what they need to put in this 22 car for qualifying because, you know, with only 30 minutes left, you see they're still cooling down the engine, still making changes. They might get 2, at most 3 qualifying runs. I really think 2 is all they're going to get.
How many do you need?
Well, you're going to run today. If you run in the 3rd session, that's going to be your 3rd run on tires. So I would like to see at least 3 runs on a set of tires to understand what direction the tires go. But then again, the 22 consistently out-qualified me when I was a crew chief. So perhaps maybe their plan works out better. And I know they out-qualified you, Jeff.
Wow.
You and I, our qualifying record up here in the booth is just not very good, is it?
Shots fired.
No, this is the one thing we agree upon. We're not good at these one-lap ordeals.
We both agree that I was a really bad qualifier.
Well, and I'm putting myself in the boat as not knowing how to set up a car to sit on a lot of poles.
McMurray just went out and ran his fastest lap on his 15th lap. He's currently 9th on the speed chart. The 43 of Eric Almirola. On track now. Eric winless in 2016. This track has not suited him very well. 7th, the best finish that he has ever had at Texas.
And that qualifying run moved him up to 18th on the board. This team seems like they gain ground, they get better, and then they lose it. They gain ground, then they lose it. Almost like the Roush Fenway group. It almost feels the same as those guys.
Yeah, you mentioned the Roush Fenway group. Well, the 17 at Stenhouse is out on the track making a qualifying run right now, currently 20th. And really, you said the same thing. Just when we think they've turned a corner, they run a little better inside the top 15. They just seem to lose it. Or the other teams in the garage make gains, and they can't keep up with those gains.
A week ago at Martinsville, it was the wheel hop that bit the 17 team. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. put that car into the wall.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s teammate, Trevor Bain, they just announced this week that they signed a 3-year extension with Avocare and Trevor Bain to stay at Roush Fenway, so that's good news for him.
Looking
that's
forward.
And really, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's what you have to have. You have to have your sponsors have to stick with you. You can't constantly be making changes with drivers and all that stuff. You gotta, when you're digging out of a hole, you'd love for that change to come and just happen overnight, but typically it doesn't. And so the commitment to the driver, the commitment to just keep getting better one day at a time, that's really what it's going to take.
Danica Patrick on track. And Danica Patrick currently 33rd on the speed chart. 39 cars have been out onto the track. Danica barely under 29 seconds with her lap. 28.94. Clint Boyer behind the wheel of the 15 this year for the next 3 races, but then the transition takes place where Clint Boyer will end up with Stewart Haas Racing. He will fill the seat that Tony Stewart will be vacating.
And that moved him up to 18th. Danica's Q run put her in 26th.
And here's where they start with you know, you're talking about perhaps trying to save a little tire in round 1. What makes it difficult is if you take Kyle Larson away with a very impressive lap in the 60s. Newman at a 93. I mean, Clint Boyer's 18th right there. He's only basically 3/10 off over a mile and a half track. I mean, the field is so close. I don't know if you can feel 3/10, Jeff, but you don't know if it's 3 or 4/10.
But I'd like to be Newman. Hey, you're second. All right, feel pretty good. Yeah, you're almost 3/10 off. I mean, Kyle Larson had run a 69 and Newman run a 93 in second. That's a huge split at the top. But as you said, when you go all the way down, those 3/10, 2.5 tenths, they're separated by. You have to go all the way to 15, 16, 17 to get the next 2 tenths.
Yeah, so if you're going to make improvements, Ryan, go the right way. Because 2 tenths back the other way, and you're going to lose 15 spots.
44, Brian Scott still riding the wave from Talladega. Career best finish of second. From second to 2 of Brad Keselowski back out on track.
Yeah, currently in the 30th position. It looks like he's made a couple runs. Neither run has been very good. It's going to be interesting to see if this 2 has found the issues with this car. Have they made adjustments? So that right there looked like it was coming to take the green flag. So we'll follow down to turn 1.
And see, they did just take the green flag, and they kind of revamped everything setup-wise on this 2 car. Just checked in with the team. They said just simply not good on those first couple of runs in qualifying trim for this 2 car. So trying to do a little research and development for themselves and for their teammate Joey Logano as well. But so far, not so good for the 2 car, who's usually very strong here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, he's not helping his teammate right now with his current speed. We'll see if they've made improvements. That lap right there is better, 28-27 and 19th, but Joey Logano, his teammate, is actually faster than him in race trim, so that can't be the help that the 22 wants. And as we see the 2 finishing his lap, the 18 of Kyle Busch goes down into turn 1 in his backup car. We'll hopefully see if this backup car has a little more luck than the primary did. It's already got farther. He's taking the green, so it's already improved.
53 minutes to prep the backup car for the 18 team. And right about there was where Kyle Busch went up into the wall.
Up to 8.
And the backup car, 8th quickest on his second lap on the track. Want to listen into his radio.
Hey Tony, it's kind of a pain in the butt to get going on the flat of 1 and 2 because it's still so wet down there, so it's hard to blend exactly where we would need to try to get a run through the corner, blend tighter to the cars than we would normally.
Kyle Busch won here in April, and talking about a little bit of maybe moisture on the racetrack or on the apron.
Hey, Rick, he's also reporting a little bit of a stumble right now in the motor, so as they get this backup car going, there are just a couple of quirks he's got to work through.
So again, that run that he made was now 9th quickest, as one car has jumped up ahead of him. Kenseth and Hamlin are both already in the top 10.
And we know Jimmy Johnson is on to his quest for 7, heading to Miami to try to win that 7th championship, tie the King and Dale Earnhardt Sr. But this Texas so far has not gone as the 48 wants to go. And we can talk about how there's no pressure in this, but that's not how Chad Knaus and Jimmy Johnson operate. They come to win every race, and currently 22nd. They can't be pleased with what they've seen out of this Lowe's Chevrolet so far today.
Jimmy Johnson, the only driver that is guaranteed a position in the championship 4. Currently, he is 22nd quickest. And Kyle Larson posted a huge lap at 27.69. Everyone else chasing after in the 27.80s and 90s.